Some are beautiful. Some are dangerous. And some are so terrifying that entire civilizations erase them from their history. For thousands of years, every advanced species in the galaxy feared only one thing. Not war. Not disease. Not black holes. They feared a ship. A ship that had no captain. No crew. No home. It appeared without warning. It stayed only for a short time. Then another civilization disappeared forever. The survivors gave it one name. The ghost ship. Nobody knew who built it. Nobody knew how old it was. Every record about its origin ended the same way. Silence. Entire planets were left empty. Cities remained standing, but every living creature vanished. Food was still on tables. Machines were still running. Children's toys remained where they had been dropped. But there was no life. Only silence. The ghost ship never fired weapons. It never sent messages. It never asked for surrender. It simply arrived. And life ended. Across millions of stars, ancient civilizations tried everything. Some attacked it with powerful fleets. Others hid in deep space. A few begged for mercy. None survived. The oldest alien empire in the galaxy, known as the Etherians, had ruled thousands of systems for nearly 5 million years. Their libraries contained records from civilizations that no longer existed. Among all those records was one forbidden file. Only the High Council was allowed to read it. The title was simple. Do not wake the collector. Even speaking those words aloud was forbidden. Young aliens believed it was only an old legend meant to scare children. Until one terrible day. Deep inside an abandoned sector of the galaxy, a lonely mining station detected something impossible. At first, it looked like a normal asteroid. Slowly, the object changed direction. Asteroids do not change direction. The station commander frowned as warning lights flashed across every screen. Unknown object detected. Distance: 2 million kilometers. Speed: increasing. The commander ordered every scanner to focus on the strange object. Powerful sensors finally revealed its shape. Everyone inside the control room became silent. It was enormous. Much larger than any battleship ever built. Its surface was black, as if it absorbed all light. No windows. No engines. No visible weapons. Only endless layers of strange metal covered with symbols older than any known language. One young officer whispered, "What is that?" No one answered. Then the oldest scientist in the station slowly stood up. His face turned completely pale. His hands began to shake. "I know this ship." Everyone looked at him. The commander asked quietly, "Tell us." The scientist swallowed hard. "We are already dead." The room exploded with confusion. "What are you talking about? It cannot be. That is impossible." The scientist slowly opened a locked database that had not been accessed for over 200 years. Ancient warning symbols appeared across every monitor. The same image filled every screen. The black ship. Exactly the same. The scientist whispered, "The ghost ship has returned." Silence filled the room. Several officers laughed nervously. "It is only an old myth." The scientist looked directly into their eyes. "No. My grandfather saw it. He was the only survivor of an entire star system." The laughter stopped immediately. "What happened?" The scientist closed his eyes. He never spoke about it. He only repeated one sentence until the day he died. "It doesn't kill people. It collects them." Nobody understood what that meant. Then, every communication system inside the station suddenly shut down. Every screen turned black. The lights began flickering. A strange sound echoed through the metal walls. Knock. 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 It sounded as if someone was walking through empty hallways. But the security cameras showed nothing. The commander ordered all soldiers into defensive positions. Every hallway was searched. Nothing. No intruders. No damaged doors. No life signs. Then one security officer screamed over the radio, "We found someone." The commander rushed toward the cargo bay. 20 armed soldiers surrounded a single figure standing alone in the darkness. It was a miner. His suit was covered in dust. His helmet visor was cracked. He stood perfectly still. The commander slowly stepped closer. "Identify yourself." No answer. The commander repeated the order. The miner slowly raised his head. Inside the broken helmet, there was no face. Only darkness. A freezing wind swept through the cargo bay. The lights went out for only 1 second. When they returned, the miner was gone. So were the 20 soldiers. Only their weapons remained on the floor. Still warm. Still loaded. The commander stared in horror. No blood. No bodies. No signs of a fight. Just empty armor lying across the metal floor. Panic spread across the station. Emergency alarms screamed through every corridor. Escape ships launched toward open space. But something was wrong. Every escape shuttle suddenly stopped moving. As if an invisible force had frozen them in place. One by one, their lights went dark. No explosions. No distress calls. They simply stopped. Minutes later, the mining station itself became completely silent. No radio signals. No life signs. Nothing. When a rescue fleet arrived 3 days later, they found every building untouched. Every machine still working. Every door unlocked. But not a single living soul remained. Only one message was discovered inside the station's central computer. No one knew who had written it. It contained only 6 words. It knows where Earth is now. Far away. Beyond thousands of stars. Hidden inside endless darkness. The massive ghost ship slowly changed its course. For the first time in human history, its destination was Earth. 3 months passed. Life on Earth continued as usual. People went to work. Children went to school. Cities were full of lights. Nobody knew that something ancient was moving through the darkness between the stars. Something that had already erased thousands of civilizations. Then, everything changed. It started with a signal. Not a radio message. Not a satellite transmission. It was a sound. Every deep space telescope on Earth received the exact same signal at the exact same time. Scientists first believed it was a technical error. They restarted every system. The signal remained. It repeated every 33 seconds. Always the same. A slow, deep, metallic heartbeat. Boom, boom, boom. No language. No numbers. No pictures. Only that impossible sound. Observatories in America, Europe, Asia, Australia, and Africa all confirmed the same thing. The signal was real. Within hours, governments around the world held emergency meetings. The public was told it was only a harmless space phenomenon. But inside underground command centers, nobody believed that. Dr. Emily Carter, one of Earth's leading astrophysicists, stood in front of a giant display. She had spent 20 years studying strange signals from deep space. She had never seen anything like this. "The source isn't moving randomly," she said quietly. "It is coming here." The room became silent. Military officers exchanged nervous looks. General Marcus Hayes folded his arms. "How long?" Emily looked at the calculations. Her voice almost disappeared. 48 days. No one spoke. 48 days. Something was crossing the darkness between stars, and it was heading directly toward Earth. Space agencies launched every available telescope. The images slowly became clearer. At first, it looked like a shadow. Then, a shape. Finally, a ship. Its size shocked everyone. Nearly 100 kilometers long. Longer than entire cities. Its surface reflected almost no light. It looked less like a spacecraft, and more like a floating grave. There were no engines. No glowing thrusters. Nothing pushed it forward. Yet it continued moving at an impossible speed. Even stranger, the laws of physics around it seemed broken. Light bent strangely near its hull. Time measurements became inconsistent. Some instruments showed the ship arriving in 48 days. Others predicted 20 days. A few claimed it had already arrived. Scientists blamed damaged equipment. But the errors kept growing. Then came the first impossible event. Thousands of satellites suddenly lost contact with Earth. Not destroyed. Not damaged. They simply disappeared. 1 second they existed. The next second, they were gone. Even the empty space where they had been looked strange. Astronauts aboard Earth's orbital stations watched in horror. One astronaut pointed toward the stars. "What is that?" Far away, a black line stretched across space. It was moving. No. Growing. Every hour it became larger. The ghost ship was now visible with the naked eye. People around the world uploaded videos. Social media exploded. Some called it an alien visitor. Others believed it was the end of the world. Religious groups claimed ancient prophecies were coming true. Governments declared global emergencies. Military forces were placed on full alert. Every major nation prepared its strongest weapons. Missiles, lasers, railguns, orbital defense systems. Humanity had never united so quickly. For the first time in history, every nation shared its military secrets. Because everyone understood one thing. If Earth fell, there would be no second chance. Meanwhile, far beyond the moon, a small exploration drone reached the edge of the strange object. Mission Control watched every second. The drone's cameras remained clear. Until suddenly, the picture froze. Then returned. The ghost ship filled the screen. It was even worse than anyone imagined. Its black metal surface was covered with millions of tiny marks. Engineers zoomed in. The marks were not scratches. They were names. Billions of names. Each carved into the hull. Each written in a different alien language. Dr. Carter whispered, "They're not decorations. They are civilizations." Every name belonged to a species that no longer existed. The ghost ship carried the memory of every world it had destroyed. Suddenly, a door opened. Nobody saw it move. It simply appeared. A massive opening formed in the side of the ship. Darkness waited inside. Mission Control ordered the drone to stay back. But the drone no longer responded. It slowly flew toward the opening. "No," Emily whispered. "Turn it around." Nothing happened. The drone entered the darkness. For 10 long seconds, the camera showed nothing. Only black. Then, the image returned. Every person in Mission Control stopped breathing. The drone was no longer inside a hallway. It was flying over an enormous city. A dead city. Skyscrapers taller than mountains reached into a black sky. Alien vehicles sat abandoned in the streets. Bridges connected impossible buildings. Everything was perfectly preserved. But there was no life. No movement. No sound. The drone flew lower. Thousands of skeletons covered the streets. Not human. Not any known species. Some had wings. Some had 4 arms. Others were giant creatures taller than buildings. All of them had died in exactly the same position. Looking upward. As if they had seen something so terrible. They never looked away. Then, the camera shook violently. A shadow crossed above the drone. Mission Control increased the image brightness. Nothing. Only darkness. The drone's microphone activated by itself. A whisper echoed through every speaker. Not loud. Barely audible. But every person heard the exact same words. "We remember." The signal ended. The drone vanished. Not exploded. Not damaged. Simply gone. Silence filled Mission Control. General Hayes finally spoke. "If that thing reaches Earth..." He couldn't finish the sentence. Nobody needed him to. Dr. Emily Carter continued staring at the last frozen frame from the drone. She noticed something everyone else had missed. One tiny figure stood among the endless skeletons. Watching the drone. Watching Earth. The image zoomed automatically. The figure smiled. Then the screen turned black. At that exact moment, every television, computer, phone, and digital display on Earth switched on by itself. The same sentence appeared in every language. "The collection begins in 30 days. The message changed everything. The collection begins in 30 days. No government denied it anymore. No scientist called it a natural phenomenon. Humanity was facing an intelligence older than recorded history. The entire planet entered emergency mode. Factories stopped making civilian products. Instead, they built weapons. Hospitals prepared for millions of casualties. Military bases stayed active day and night. Every nation shared its best technology. For the first time in human history, there were no enemies on Earth. There was only one enemy, waiting in space. But one question remained. What exactly was inside the ghost ship? No telescope could answer it. No satellite could scan through its black metal. Dr. Emily Carter stood before the World Defense Council. We cannot wait for it to reach Earth. General Marcus Hayes nodded. You want to send a team? Emily took a deep breath. Yes. Several politicians immediately objected. It's suicide. No one will come back. We should attack now. Emily shook her head. We know nothing about our enemy. If we attack blindly, we may destroy ourselves before we ever hurt it. The room fell silent. Finally, the mission was approved. 12 volunteers stepped forward. Not because they expected to survive. Because someone had to learn the truth. Among them was Captain Ethan Cole, a former Special Forces officer. Calm, disciplined, fearless. Before boarding the mission shuttle, he recorded one final message. If my family ever sees this, I love you. And if humanity survives, don't remember us as heroes. Remember us as people who simply did our job. The shuttle launched toward the ghost ship. Millions watched the live broadcast. As the black giant grew larger, everyone understood one thing. Pictures had never shown its true size. It looked like an entire world floating through space. The closer they came, the colder their instruments became. The temperature inside the shuttle dropped without explanation. Ice formed across the windows. Private Daniel Brooks rubbed his hands together. Heating system failure? The pilot checked every control. Everything is working. Emily's voice came through the radio. The cold isn't inside your ship. It's coming from outside. Outside, in the vacuum of space, something impossible was happening. Space itself seemed frozen. The shuttle reached the enormous opening seen by the lost drone. It was still open. Waiting. No lights. No movement. Only darkness. Captain Cole looked at his team. Helmet sealed. We stay together. No one walks alone. The shuttle slowly entered. Immediately, communication with Earth became weak. Emily's voice broke apart. Ethan, if killed me. Then, silence. The connection was gone. The shuttle landed on a massive black platform. The door opened. No one moved. Every soldier stared into the darkness. Captain Cole stepped out first. His boots touched the metal floor. The sound echoed endlessly. Clang, 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 as if the hallway had no end. Flashlights switched on. The beams barely reached 20 meters before disappearing. The darkness swallowed light itself. This place is impossible, Brooks whispered. They began walking. The walls were covered with giant symbols. None matched any known language. Yet, several soldiers felt they somehow understood them. One Marine suddenly stopped. I know what this says. Captain Cole turned. You've seen this language before? The Marine slowly shook his head. No. But I can read it. His voice became distant. It says, everything returns. Emily had warned them this might happen. The ship affected the human mind. Captain Cole ordered everyone to ignore the writing. They continued forward. Hours passed. Or perhaps only minutes. Time no longer felt normal. Every hallway looked exactly the same. No doors. No windows. No sound. Then, a child laughed. Everyone froze. The laugh echoed somewhere ahead. Brooks lowered his weapon. Did you hear that? Another laugh. Small. Happy. Impossible. There were no children aboard. Captain Cole signaled the team forward. They reached a large chamber. It was empty. Only dozens of old toys lay scattered across the floor. A wooden horse. A broken doll. A spinning top. None looked alien. They looked human. Brooks picked up the doll. It was warm, as if someone had been holding it moments earlier. Suddenly, the doll opened its eyes. Brooks screamed and dropped it. The eyes closed again. It became completely lifeless. Every soldier aimed their weapons. Nothing moved. Captain Cole quietly said, "We keep moving." No one argued. The deeper they walked, the stranger the ship became. Gravity changed without warning. One hallway pointed straight upward. Yet they walked on it as if it were the floor. Another hallway bent in impossible directions. One soldier looked back. The path behind them had disappeared. There was only a solid wall. Panic spread through the team. "We're trapped." "No." Captain Cole replied firmly. "The ship wants us to panic. We don't give it that." His calm voice kept everyone moving. Then, they found the first body. It wore armor unlike anything on Earth. The skeleton had 4 arms. Its weapons still rested beside it. Emily had seen similar creatures in the drone footage. Captain Cole knelt beside the remains. The alien had been dead for thousands, maybe millions, of years. Yet its bones had not decayed. Its empty hands were pointing toward one giant door, as if warning anyone who came after. The team slowly approached it. The door was taller than a skyscraper. No controls. No handles. Nothing. Captain Cole touched the surface. Immediately, the massive door opened by itself. A blinding white light filled the chamber. The soldiers shielded their eyes. When the light faded, every heartbeat stopped. Before them stretched an endless hall. Inside were millions of glass chambers. Each chamber contained a different alien species. Perfectly preserved. Frozen in time. Adults. Children. Entire families. Some looked peaceful. Others had died in terror. Captain Cole whispered, "My God." Dr. Emily Carter's final theory had been correct. The ghost ship did not destroy civilizations. It collected them. Every species it had ever conquered still remained aboard. Like trophies. Like museum exhibits. Brooks slowly walked closer to one chamber. Inside stood an alien mother holding her child. Then, the child's eyes opened. It looked directly at Brooks. And smiled. The glass suddenly cracked. A deep voice echoed through the endless hall. Not through speakers. Inside every human mind. "A new civilization has arrived. Welcome to the collection." The voice echoed inside every mind. "A new civilization has arrived. Welcome to the collection." No speakers. No radio. No translation device. Yet every member of the team understood every word. Captain Ethan Cole tightened his grip on his rifle. "Stay together. No one touches anything." The endless hall became completely silent again. Millions of glass chambers stretched farther than anyone could see. Each one held the final moment of a lost civilization. Some aliens looked peaceful. Others had expressions of absolute terror. It felt less like a museum, and more like a cemetery. Private Brooks slowly backed away from the cracked glass chamber. "The child." It moved. Before anyone could answer, the crack disappeared. The glass became perfect again, as if it had never been damaged. Captain Cole looked around. "This ship is showing us what it wants us to see. We cannot trust our eyes." The team continued forward. Every few steps, another strange sound echoed through the hall. A woman crying. Children laughing. Footsteps behind them. Someone whispering their names. Every time they turned around, nothing. After nearly an hour of walking, they reached a circular chamber. Unlike the rest of the ship, this room was brightly lit. In its center stood a single chair. It was enormous, built for a creature at least 10 meters tall. But it was empty. The team carefully entered. Lieutenant Sarah Mitchell scanned the room. No heat signatures. No movement. "It looks abandoned." Captain Cole wasn't convinced. "This place is waiting for us." Then, The doors slammed shut. The lights went out. Darkness swallowed everything. 1 second later, the lights returned. Private Daniel Brooks was gone. Only his rifle remained on the floor. Brooks! No answer. The soldiers searched every corner. There was nowhere to hide. No secret passages. No vents. Nothing. A grown man had disappeared in less than a second. Without a sound. Without a struggle. Fear spread through the room. One Marine whispered, "We have to leave." Captain Cole nodded. "We move now." But the door would not open. Then, a hologram appeared above the giant chair. It was not a recording. It looked alive. The figure constantly changed shape. Sometimes it looked human. Then alien. Then something with dozens of eyes. Its voice was calm. Ancient. Almost gentle. "I am the collector. I preserve life." Sarah frowned. "You call this preserving?" The hologram tilted its head. "Death is temporary. Extinction is forever." The soldiers exchanged confused looks. The collector continued. "When a civilization reaches the final stage, I save it." Captain Cole stepped forward. "You murder entire worlds." "No," the collector replied. "I rescue them from what comes next." Silence. Nobody understood. What comes next? For the first time, the collector hesitated. Its form flickered. "There are things. Even I cannot stop." The room suddenly filled with stars. The walls disappeared. One after another. The collector spoke again. They disappeared. Not by war. Not by disease. They were erased. The holographic stars vanished. In their place appeared something impossible. A shape larger than entire galaxies. It had no clear form. Looking at it made the soldiers feel sick. Their helmets filled with warning alarms. Heart rates skyrocketed. Several soldiers fell to their knees. Captain Cole forced himself to keep looking. "What is that?" The collector answered with a single word. "The hunger. It consumes existence itself. It leaves nothing. No memory. No history. No life." Sarah shook her head. "So you trap civilizations inside this ship?" "I preserve what can be preserved." "You steal them before the hunger reaches them." Captain Cole's voice became cold. "You never asked if they wanted to be saved." The collector looked directly at him. "No civilization has ever refused." Cole answered immediately. "Humanity will." For the first time, the ancient being became completely still. Its glowing eyes narrowed. "You are different." At that exact moment, emergency alarms echoed throughout the ghost ship. Not human alarms. The ship itself was screaming. Red light flooded every hallway. The collector slowly turned toward the ceiling. "It has found me." Captain Cole frowned. "What has?" The answer came immediately. The entire ship shook violently. A sound echoed through space. Not an explosion. A roar. Deep. Infinite. Old beyond imagination. Every preserved alien inside the glass chambers suddenly opened their eyes. Millions of frozen faces stared toward the darkness outside the ship. The collector spoke for the first time with fear in its voice. "The hunger is here." Captain Cole looked through a massive observation window that had not existed moments before. Beyond the ghost ship, space itself was changing. Stars disappeared. Not exploding. Not fading. Simply gone. A wall of complete darkness stretched across the universe. It moved without speed. Without sound. Without mercy. Anything it touched stopped existing. Sarah whispered, "That's impossible." The collector answered quietly, "It has followed me for millions of years. I delayed it. I hid from it. But now, it knows where I am." Captain Cole slowly realized the truth. The ghost ship had never been hunting alone. It had been running. Running for millions of years. The collector turned back toward the humans. Its voice was no longer proud. It almost sounded desperate. There is only one way to survive. Join the collection. Captain Cole looked at every member of his team. Then back at the ancient being. His answer came without hesitation. No. The collector stared silently. You choose extinction? Captain Cole smiled. No. We choose to fight. For several long seconds, nothing happened. Then, something incredible occurred. The ghost ship reacted. The black walls trembled. Ancient symbols across the floor began glowing bright blue. The collector stepped backward. Its calm expression disappeared for the first time. It has never happened before. Sarah looked around. What hasn't? The collector whispered. The ship has accepted humans. Far below the massive halls, deep inside the heart of the ghost ship, an enormous machine that had remained dormant for millions of years suddenly came to life. Its engines awakened. Its lights ignited. Its systems recognized a new command authority. Not the collector. Humanity. Captain Ethan Cole had unknowingly activated something the ancient civilization had never intended anyone to find. And somewhere in the deepest part of the ship, a hidden door slowly opened. The hidden door opened with a deep metallic sound. For millions of years, no one had entered. Dust did not cover the floor. There was no rust. No decay. It was as if the room had been waiting for someone. Captain Ethan Cole looked at his team. Stay alert. No one separates. The remaining soldiers followed him into the darkness. Behind them, the collector did not move. It simply watched. Its glowing eyes showed something no one expected. Hope. The hallway beyond the hidden door was unlike the rest of the ship. The black walls had turned silver. Soft blue lights glowed beneath the floor. The air felt warmer. Peaceful. For the first time since entering the ghost ship, the whispers were gone. The laughter had stopped. There was only silence. Lieutenant Sarah Mitchell looked around carefully. This place feels alive. Captain Cole nodded. But not hostile. At the end of the hallway stood a massive circular chamber. Its ceiling disappeared into darkness. Thousands of floating lights drifted through the air like stars. In the center, a glowing sphere slowly rotated. As Captain Cole stepped closer, the sphere suddenly expanded. A holographic galaxy appeared around the team. Every star, every planet, every known civilization. Then, one by one, red lights appeared. Each red light represented a dead world. There were too many to count. Millions. Billions. Sarah whispered. The ghost ship didn't destroy all of them. It failed to save them. The collector quietly entered the chamber. You finally understand. I was never a conqueror. I was the last guardian. Captain Cole looked at the ancient being. Then why attack innocent civilizations? The collector lowered its head. Because they always refused to leave. They believed they could win. They always lost. The room became silent. Captain Cole slowly looked around. Every red light was another civilization that no longer existed. Every one of them had believed they were strong enough. Every one of them had disappeared. Then, the glowing sphere suddenly changed color. Blue light surrounded Captain Cole. A calm female voice echoed through the chamber. Primary builder DNA detected. Every soldier froze. Captain Cole frowned. What? The voice repeated. Command authority transferred. Welcome, Creator. The collector stepped backward. Its eyes widened. No. That is impossible. Captain Cole looked completely confused. I've never been here. I don't know this place. The ancient AI answered calmly. Your species carries the genetic signature of the builders. Sarah stared at Captain Cole. The builders? The collector finally spoke. The first civilization. The creators of this ship. The only race that ever fought the hunger. The hologram shifted again. An ancient memory filled the chamber. Millions of years ago, a beautiful civilization stretched across countless galaxies. They built worlds. Created life. Protected weaker species. They became so advanced. They believed nothing could threaten them. Then, the darkness came. The hunger consumed entire galaxies. Even the builders could not destroy it. Knowing they would lose, they built one final weapon. The ghost ship. Not as a prison, but as an ark. A place where life could survive until the day someone strong enough appeared. The memory ended. Captain Cole stood speechless. So, humans are? The AI answered. The last descendants. The builders seeded life on one distant world before their extinction. That world was Earth. No one spoke. Everything suddenly made sense. The strange symbols. The ship responding to humans. The hidden door. The command authority. Humanity had unknowingly inherited the legacy of the oldest civilization in existence. Suddenly, the entire chamber shook violently. Emergency alarm screamed. A deep crack spread across the holographic galaxy. The AI spoke urgently. Warning! The hunger has entered this star system. Captain Cole looked through a massive window. His blood froze. The stars around the ghost ship were disappearing. Not exploding. Simply erased. Entire constellations vanished in silence. The darkness was close now. Much closer. Earth appeared on the holographic display. Only 18 hours remained. Back on Earth. Every telescope captured the impossible. The night sky was changing. Stars people had known all their lives were disappearing forever. Cities around the world went dark as panic spread. Families hugged each other. Churches, mosques, temples, and synagogues filled with people praying. Children asked their parents the same question. Are we going to die? No one knew the answer. Inside the ghost ship, Captain Cole looked at his exhausted team. We finally know why we're here. Sarah nodded. But how do we stop something that destroys galaxies? The AI answered immediately. There is only one weapon. The heart engine. A new chamber appeared beneath the floor. At its center floated a brilliant white crystal. It looked like a small star. The collector looked away. I never activated it. Captain Cole frowned. Why? The ancient being answered quietly. Because using it requires a living command mind. The one who activates it will become part of the ship forever. Silence filled the room. Everyone understood. There was no button. No remote control. Someone had to sacrifice everything. Captain Cole looked at the glowing crystal. Then at the image of Earth. His home. His family. 8 billion people. He smiled softly. I know what I have to do. Sarah grabbed his arm. There has to be another way. Captain Cole shook his head. If there was, the builders would have found it. He removed the photograph of his wife and daughter from inside his armor. He handed it to Sarah. When this is over, tell them. He stopped speaking. His eyes filled with tears. Sarah slowly finished the sentence for him. That you came home. Captain Cole nodded. Then he turned toward the heart engine. As he reached out, the crystal burst into brilliant white light. At that exact moment, the entire ghost ship came alive. Every ancient engine ignited. Every system awakened. Across space, the largest ship ever built finally prepared for its true purpose. Not to collect civilizations. Not to run from the hunger. But to fight it. Outside, the endless darkness stopped moving. For the first time in millions of years, the hunger had noticed something it had not seen since the age of the builders. Humanity. And it was coming. The ghost ship trembled. For the first time in millions of years, its engines burned with brilliant white light instead of darkness. Captain Ethan Cole stood before the heart engine. The glowing crystal floated only a few inches away. The ancient AI spoke one final warning. Command integration is permanent. There will be no return. Cole smiled. I wasn't planning to return. He slowly placed his hand on the crystal. The moment his fingers touched its surface, everything disappeared. There was no ship. No stars. No darkness. Only light. Millions of voices echoed around him. They did not scream. They whispered. Every civilization the ghost ship had ever protected. Every species the collector had tried to save. Their memories surrounded him. A child laughed. An old alien warrior saluted. A mother smiled as she held her baby. A scientist looked up from a strange machine. A king removed his crown. A farmer stood in a golden field. Different faces. Different worlds. But the same hope. They had all wanted one thing. A future. The voices merged into one. Protect the living. Captain Cole opened his eyes. He was no longer standing inside the chamber. He had become part of the ghost ship itself. He could feel everything. Every hallway. Every engine. Every ancient system. The ship was alive. And now, so was he. Outside, the darkness arrived. It had no shape. No eyes. No mouth. No beginning. No end. It simply erased reality wherever it moved. Stars vanished. Planets disappeared. Even light could not escape it. The collector looked toward the approaching horror. For millions of years, it had only run. Now, it stood beside humanity. The ancient being bowed its head toward Captain Cole. I was wrong. You were never meant to be collected. You were meant to lead. Cole's voice echoed through every deck of the ghost ship. And today, we finish what the builders started. Every engine roared. The ghost ship accelerated. Not away from the darkness. Toward it. Back on Earth. Every nation watched the impossible battle unfold through orbiting telescopes. The skies above Earth glowed white. People stopped running. Children looked up. Soldiers lowered their weapons. The entire world watched together. No one spoke. The ghost ship charged directly into the hunger. The darkness swallowed its bow. Warning alarms screamed across every system. Whole sections disappeared. Entire decks were erased. The ancient AI counted the damage. 5% lost. 12% lost. 26% lost. Still, the ship continued forward. Captain Cole activated the heart engine. A wave of white light exploded across space. For the first time, the darkness stopped. It pulled back. As if surprised. The collector stared in disbelief. It feels fear. The hunger had never known fear. Until now. The white light spread farther. Every preserved civilization inside the ghost ship awakened. Not physically. Their memories. Their knowledge. Their courage. Millions of voices joined Captain Cole. One mind became millions. Millions became one. The heart engine grew brighter. The ghost ship was no longer powered by machines. It was powered by hope. By sacrifice. By every civilization that had refused to disappear completely. The hunger struck again. This time, it hit with unimaginable force. The ghost ship cracked from end to end. The collector fell to its knees. Ancient systems failed. The AI spoke calmly. Structural integrity. 3%. Sarah Mitchell looked around the collapsing command chamber. We're losing. Captain Cole answered through the ship. No. We're almost there. He finally understood the builder's final lesson. The hunger could not be destroyed. Because it fed on fear. On surrender. On hopelessness. Every civilization had fought alone. Every civilization had believed only in itself. Humanity had done something different. They had united. Every nation. Every language. Every culture. For the first time in history, Earth stood together. That unity became the heart engine's true power. Captain Cole smiled. This ends now. He released every remaining bit of energy. The ghost ship became brighter than 1,000 suns. The light spread across the darkness. The hunger tried to consume it. But there was nothing to consume. Hope could not be erased. Sacrifice could not be erased. Love could not be erased. The darkness began breaking apart. Tiny pieces drifted away. Then more. Then thousands. Until nothing remained. Silence filled the universe. The hunger was gone. Forever. The light slowly faded. Earth was safe. The stars returned. One by one, constellations shined again. People across the planet cried with relief. Some laughed. Others simply looked at the sky. For the first time in weeks, the night felt peaceful. Inside the broken ghost ship, Sarah searched the command chamber. "Captain?" No answer. She looked toward the heart engine. The crystal had become transparent. Captain Cole was gone. Only his military badge rested beneath the crystal. The collector quietly picked it up. After millions of years, a single tear rolled down its face. "I finally understand humanity. It was never your strength. It was your willingness to give everything for someone else." 1 year later, Earth had changed forever. Humanity no longer fought pointless wars. The nations remembered what they had almost lost. Together, they rebuilt. Scientists used the ghost ship's surviving technology to heal diseases, restore damaged ecosystems, and explore peaceful worlds beyond the solar system. Humanity did not become rulers of the galaxy. They became its guardians. Just as the builders once were. Far beyond the Milky Way, among silent stars, a damaged black ship drifted peacefully through space. No longer feared. No longer hunting. Only protecting. Deep inside its endless systems, a familiar voice quietly echoed. Captain Ethan Cole. Always watching. Always guarding. Always ready. The ghost ship had not collected humanity. Humanity had saved the ghost ship. And somewhere in the endless darkness of the universe, if another nightmare ever rose, it would not find frightened civilizations waiting. It would find humanity. Together. Ready. The end.